that. That's
No. All right. For those who just joined us,
we just got here.
Look, for those who just joined us, I got to get something out of my system. I told Anthony this earlier.
Hold on. Let people pop in first.
Okay.
Golly gee, Whitaker's Bob.
I'm sorry. It's just like, what are we doing?
Once I actually do all the editing and whatnot, you can it'll. Well, I got to do my yo-yo-yos first, but yeah.
What are we doing? This is crazy.
In the words of one Twitter user, the West has fallen.
I mean, yeah. Yeah.
The West has fallen bad, and we are down horrendous.
In the worst way.
In the worst possible way.
And the worst part is people are okay with it. We are receding
backwards so much, and I don't understand it.
It's like we're receding backwards, and there are people who are okay with it, who want it to go backwards, without realizing the other things that happen if we really go backwards.
I'm not answering him. I got this dude asking me for $10. Can I cash up him $10? No, you didn't even say how I was doing. Just hit me up on random. Can you cash up $10? No.
It's also weird because I feel like there's still a movement of women who don't want women to vote.
Oh, so you've seen the video from Just Pearly Things then, huh?
What, is that the Moms for Liberty thing, or is that something
else? No. It must be a whole different person that you're thinking of. I'm thinking of Just Pearly Things.
What? All right, what is this? Because I don't know. Because I saw this video. Apparently, there's a movie that came out on Hulu or something like a while ago, called Miss America or something like that, or Americana or something, where it was like this woman was basically, she was leading a movement against, like, it was in the 70s, this is 60s and 70s, like the late 60s or early 70s, around there, where it was like the very pro-feminist movement. You know what I mean? It was the early stages of that. And this woman was leading a counter movement to that, saying, like, you know, women, like, you know, she didn't want women to vote. She didn't want women to, it should be go back to the traditional thing where basically women didn't have any rights. I was like, that's crazy.
That doesn't even sound as bad as what I was looking at.
Well, what did you see?
Matter of fact, we're going to react to it.
No, can we not? Because I don't want to get frustrated.
Because I haven't put my take on it, and I might want to use it for a clip. And it's pretty. Hold on, let me see if I can find the shortest one. And I don't want to. If I can find just her saying it, and I'll just read it off like that instead.
Okay, yeah, that works. That works.
That way you don't have to.
Because I'm at a point where it's like, I feel like if I hear bad takes, I would rather read bad takes than hear bad takes. Because
but this falls within our realm of Ooga Booga takes.
No, but I'm saying, I feel like if I hear bad takes, it'll affect me worse than reading bad takes. Because hearing them makes you seem like, dang, this really came out of somebody's mouth. You know?
Yeah.
Like when I hear people talk about rap, like when I hear people give takes on rap music, I'm like, dawg, I don't. Like, what are you doing? What are you talking about?
Did you see that one take from Sneeko?
I almost cuss. Who is that? Who is this person?
That's what you need to say, dog. Shoot.
Who the fuck is that?
Sneeko is I don't know how to describe him. He's a dork. But he was basically saying like hip hop outside of like Kanye and like gospel rappers are nothing but like detrimental to the black culture. It's like,
beyond who?
Never heard of Big Crit then, okay? Outside of Kanye and like gospel rappers.
Well, he's half right.
There are points made, but here's my issue.
He's half right. I'll give him this. He's half right.
I actually want to say, matter of fact, we're going to talk about these things in the most broad way possible. Because here I have an issue with.
Well, you know my take. Like, I think we should go back to gatekeeping.
I mean, you're a gatekeeper as it is.
I am. I'm a proud gatekeeper because I feel like, and it's not like,
all right. So we're gonna
react
to it.
I'm not a gatekeeper because I don't like art. I'm not a gatekeeper because I want to stop somebody from doing what they're doing. I'm a gatekeeper because because it's bad. Because it's not good.
A minute of hearing her horrible takes. I can't find the written version, so I just found a 1 minute video from her when she was on Piers Morgan's show talking about it. It's really like it will start off with like how these takes are. There are a lot of times where there are truth within the takes that people make, but at the same time, these takes are still stupid because you take a bit of a truth and just add your spin to it and just make it stupid, huh?
Is our war show at the end of the year, right?
Oh yeah, war show's at the end of the year.
Okay.
We are going to have a hard time. We're going to have to really sit down for we're going to have to probably have a cutoff date like somewhere in November and really sit down and go back and look at some of the dumbest things that we've seen this year.
Yeah. We're probably gonna. This is probably gonna be the equivalent of a production meeting.
Basically, I kind of I got some ideas because I watched this other podcast and they have their own award show called the Grifties, and I kind of want to use a lot of the things that some of the elements they do with their show, and kind of use it for our.
As long as we're giving shout outs.
Oh yeah, shout out to the Hotel It's Been Told You podcast because they got the Grifty Awards, and it's kind of entertaining when you really sit down and watch it. We're like, okay, I kind of like what they're doing here, and I like the reasoning behind why they did it. Like people said that black people need to make their own award show, so here we go.
Yeah,
and guess what we're doing? Two black men that want to make our own award show.
Let's do it.
To highlight how stupid we are.
We should really make it big. Like we should really do the pod in suits. Do you have a suit?
Do I have a suit?
No, yeah, you have that. Oh yeah, you have.
And by the time we get to the end of the year, I'll be in my small suits.
Oh, great! So we do have suits. So yeah, we can do the podcast in suits. You know,
gift sent rose. Get out of my comment section. Give to me some sent roses. 1,000. Ain't send me a doggone thing. Capping. About as bad as that account notice. Someone saying your account will be permanently banned if you don't stop this live video in 5 minutes. All right, let's go and get to it. Yo, what's going on? This is Unbounded Podcast. Once again, I'm your host, Ant. Got my boy, Isaac. We are not in the same room, but we are back on this app called, on this website called Restream. We haven't done Restream since, I really want to say last year.
I think it was around the time of the World Cup.
Ohio, we started doing them down in the house.
I think it was around. I think the last time we did Restream was around the time of the World Cup last year.
Based off of your prior hashtag, I think so.
Yeah, because I think England. Maybe says me correctly. England had just lost in the knockout round because they always say it's coming home.
Speaking of which, when does the Women's World Cup start?
July 20th.
Okay.
And
there might be a game when we're in Detroit.
Yes, we will actually. Hold on. As a matter of fact.
Who the heck is Dawson?
I
got these people in my TikTok live every single time I'm up here at night. I'm like, Dawson. I'm like, who the heck is Dawson?
Yeah, August 1st will be. So
who are you?
Yeah, August 1st. It's the World Cup starts July 21st. The U.S.'s first game is against Vietnam at 9 p.m. on July 21st. Then the one game in August they have is against Portugal. That's August 1st at 3 a.m.
No, I don't.
So
we have this thing here called Ooga Booga Takes.
Yes, we do.
And I think we really need to discuss how these things happen and why.
Like how
do people come up with these horrible takes and why?
Okay.
Now, I do believe that there is truth in 99% of the things people say in life. The issue comes in when they take the bitter truth they have and put their spin on the truth.
Yes.
And so I've seen There's certain community called the Red Pill community. You probably heard of, you probably haven't. But these people are your Andrew Tates, your
They're basically your conspiracy theorists. You're like,
I wouldn't say conspiracy theories.
well,
They're more of like they're more that pro masculine group of people. Andrew Tate, Russian fits, which I really want to try to avoid after what I saw last night.
what did you see last night?
They had a well-known white supremacist, Nick Fuentes.
Oh, wait. Is the First Fit podcast is all them black dudes on it, don't it?
It's the one black guy and the allegedly black guy.
Hey, hold on.
But if you ask certain demographics of black people in America, they're not black Americans. They are black Africans. They're not quote unquote freedmen, is the new term that people are using within the diaspora wars.
So why? I'm confused by the simple concept as why why two black people of color had a white supremacist on their podcast.
Because they don't care. It was so bad. They had, and the worst part is, there was like 5 or 6 black women along with them. They're all like groupied up with this man. One had a picture kissing him on the cheek.
Like Nick Fuentes or one of the
Nick
black
Fuentes.
You know what? Let's move on.
No, because
well, not
sit here. No, because now we're here, and I got a real problem with this because 2 years ago I had to sit here and listen to this demographic of people say that black men were the weakest link in the black community. But I got to sit here and look at that picture. This is why I say that there is no specific demographic of black people that are the weakest link. Is the people that will go out, do all these things, BLM, put my fist up in the air, and then be kissing a white supremacist on the cheek.
That's crazy.
It is insane.
That's an insane visual.
Insane. You want it to get worse? They egged him on to say the hard ER on the podcast. And he did it.
Well, of course he did it. He's a white supremacist. He don't care. Like,
the black men are the weakest link in the black community.
Jesus Christ.
I need people to really sit there and think about what they say before they say it sometimes, because, oh my gosh, we got another one. You don't know about this lady, but for some odd reason, I have the unpleasure of knowing who this person is. Because she's another person that's had the same white supremacists on her show as they talk trash about her black producer because he shows up late or something like that. You know, black people don't go be anywhere on time, which I hate. And so not only does she have takes like that, she has takes to where she feels like women voting causes a divorce epidemic. So let's I know I'm torturing you for like the first 10 minutes of the podcast, and you're probably going to fight me when you see me. I'm okay with that. But I just need to see if I'm the crazy one that really understands how stupid it sounds.
Oh my God.
I started reading their writings, right? And what I found out was that the reason a lot of women advocated for it was because they believed it was the beginning of the breakdown of the family. You know, before you became one in marriage, 85% of people were married. You know, I hate to say it, but they were right. What has happened 100 years later?
What's that got to do with them having the vote?
Well, it also goes back to responsibility. Again, men are 80 to 90% of the military. They run all of the infrastructures that make society run. So I just think if we want an equal say in society, then be equal. Do 50% of the hard jobs. Be 50% of the military. In the U.S., they're fined $250,000 if they don't join selective service, which is essentially the draft.
Okay, but specifically on the vote, what would having the right to vote have to do with family cohesion, for example?
Well, because again, before you weren't trying to divide a family. It was one family unit. You had one vote for the family. I mean, I don't think it's good for a family to have two votes.
So you remember how I just told you? You remember how I just told
just say?
you?
What
remember
did
how
she
I
just say?
remember how I just told you that you can have a truth and put your spin on it and just make it sound absolutely stupid?
What she did was what I got from that. She said a whole bunch of nothing.
There was a lot. There was truth to what she said. Yes,
No,
most
no,
men
to
work
me,
most dangerous jobs. We do have to register for selective service. Those things
yes,
are true.
yes.
But then she throws a bunch of gobbledygook up there. It's
That's
like,
what I'm
what are you
saying.
talking about?
That's why at the end of it, I heard what she said. I heard she said about selective service. Where she lost me is the other stuff. I'm like, hold on. It's like, all right, you're right about there. That's true. The rest of it made whatever you said that was truth sound like nothing. Which is why I said it sounded like you said a whole bunch of nothing that didn't make
This
sense.
is how Ooga Booga takes are born.
Precisely.
Like I can tell you something so true right now.
Speaking
And it
of
just
which,
throw it left field. It's like, what are you talking about, Aunt?
no,
I don't
as a
know,
matter of
man.
fact, I heard one earlier today. I was gaslit earlier today. Well, I
Oh,
felt like I was
gosh.
gaslit earlier today. Somebody at church told me that Helen Keller didn't exist because she couldn't.
Nani?
What?
Nani?
Yes, somebody told me there was in the youth group where I'm at. One of the kids said Helen Keller didn't exist because she couldn't read, because she couldn't see, she couldn't speak, and she couldn't hear. So by proxy, like that, she didn't exist, and that there's no way she could have written a book. And like the period of time in which she was deaf, blind, and mute was like 2 to 3 years. Like she wasn't born with it, like, and all those other stuff. And I'm like, you're kidding, right?
How old was this person?
They were definitely high school.
Okay, that makes sense then.
Because I was like,
doesn't make sense, but it makes sense.
Because I'm like, no, there's no way you're gonna sit here and tell me, like, because I remember watching a movie about Helen Keller.
I do remember you watching it too.
She was older. I remember how she was taught, that her instructor, because she was the only instructor who would do it because all the other teachers were having so much problems. This specific instructor would take her hand because she couldn't see, she couldn't hear, but you know what else she could do? She could feel and she could touch, right? Well, she could touch, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and smell. So that means, but most important thing is touch. So what the instructor would do, the instructor would take her hand and she would sign the different letters into her hand so she could feel what each letter sounds like. That's what I remember seeing in the movie. You know what I mean? So that over time, she would constantly do this. So that over time, you're teaching somebody what? Sign language.
Right.
You can't see, hear,
learning sign language is actually pretty fun. I'm learning it myself.
I'm thinking about doing it.
I can do my ABCs. Let me see. A, B, C, D, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P.
Right.
Get Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. So there's a few letters I'm forgetting, but for only been a week of me learning,
that's pretty good. It's pretty good. But yeah, no, but like I was saying, it's like, no, you're not gonna sit here and tell me this person did exist. They're not real. That's crazy. That's what you're not about to do.
That's like me telling you that Mozart wasn't real.
Exactly, because you didn't hear him, because you never heard of him. That's crazy.
Well, if a tree falls in the forest and no one's there to make a sound, does it? Wait, I just said that all the way wrong. That's my saying.
Screw that way up.
That's my saying. That's the crazy part because I say it all the time. If a tree falls in the forest, no one's there to hear it. Doesn't make a sound.
That's crazy.
It doesn't make a sound.
It doesn't, but
it does. But can you prove it?
Exactly. No, you're right. But still, it's not like. I mean, to say a whole person didn't exist is crazy. Although people do make that argument about our Lord and Savior all the time, which is really good.
In the words of John P. Key,
Jesus is real.
I know. Oh.
Jesus is real.
All right, let's stop that. Let's get into 1974 real quick. For those who do not know, we are.
I'm so glad you moved on because I was about to hit the bridge. He's real.
Because I had to pull the rug because I knew where you were going.
Yes, he's real. I know he is.
I know you too well. I know that if I don't pull the rug immediately, you're gonna be on some tomfoolery, and we ain't gonna never get away from it.
So what happened in 1974?
So just to get everybody on to what we're talking about here, we started last week with us doing just a highlight of things that happened in the years leading up to the present. We started off with the 1973.
This whole thing is basically with hip hop celebrating 50 years of existence.
Right.
We are going through each year to highlight the major events of each year. So did 1973 last year, which was highlighted by a lot of things,
Right.
But
this year, 1974 is very interesting too because there's some scandals that's going on here.
Okay.
So 1974, I'm just gonna read. This is not a long article here, but it does highlight some of the things, just like current event wise. In 1974, saw the world population reach 4 billion people, which we are now at approximately 7 billion, according to an estimation by the U.S. Census Bureau released in April. On March 18th, the oil crisis caused the embargo on oil sales in the U.S., Europe, and Japan ended as most of the members of the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting, the OPEC, lifted the embargo. In Portugal, a right-wing military coup referred to as the Carnation Revolution conducted on April 25th ended 48 years of dictatorship in the country. In the same vein, the Greek militia, the military junta, was replaced by a civilian government on July 23rd after 7 years of military rule. In the United States, President Richard Nixon announced his resignation following the Watergate scandal on August 8th, one day after French high wire artist completed his famed high wire walk between the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center in New York City. Vice President Gerald Ford succeeded Nixon as 38th President of the United States and pardoned his predecessor a month later. Ruth for the all-time number of home runs. So Babe Ruth had the all-time number of home runs at 714, a record he would break 4 days later in Atlanta. At the international level, West Germany won the 1974 FIFA World Cup by defeating the Netherlands 2-1 on July 7th. English rock group Queen released the first string of hit singles Seven Seas Awry on March 8th. And the Hungarian architecture professor Erno, not saying his name, but he created the Rubik's Cube. So this marked the beginning of the very popular, can I call it a toy?
Puzzle. It's more puzzle.
Okay, a puzzle.
The Rubik's Cube is more puzzle than toy.
It's really, it seems like it's starting to make a comeback.
I mean, I know I was in a class a couple of years ago where a guy, when during breaks, the guy would solve it, would just challenge people to solve it.
I had like 2 or 3 kids this year.
I
just walk around with Rubik's Cubes. It was either Rubik's Cube or yo-yo.
I have one here somewhere. It's all mixed up. I was able to solve it, but then I stopped.
Moving on, George Roy Hill's The Sting won an Oscar for Best Picture in Science. The skeleton of a member of the nicknamed Lucy, was discovered on November 24th. Notable verse in this year, English actor Christian Bale.
Yeah.
English singer Victoria Beckham, and Spanish actress Penelope Cruz. I've heard the name Christian Bale. The rest of y'all, I don't know who y'all are. What else was interesting about this year? The 55 mile per hour speed limit was imposed in 1974. Inflation was spiraling out of control around the world, reaching 11.3% in USA and 17.2% in the UK, and the global recession deepens. Sounds like you know what to me. Anything else? Let's look at before we get to like the hip hop stuff. Let's look at the song chart. Let's see what songs were hot during this time. We're just gonna go to the top 10, okay?
Look.
Paper Lace, The Night Chicago Died.
Okay.
The Hollies, The Air That I Breathe. Barbara Streisand, The Way We Were. Okay, there you go. Steve Miller Band, The Joker. The Rubettes, Sugar Baby Love. Botman, Turner Overdrive, You Ain't Seen Nothing Yet. George McCrae, Rock Your Baby. ABBA, Waterloo. Terry Jacks, Seasons in the Sun. And Carl Douglas, Kung Fu Fighting.
What? Wait, is that number one?
That was the number one song of 1974.
Catchy song.
I mean, everybody loves Kung Fu Fighting. That song still will slap today. I don't care. Nobody say. All right, let's see if anything really popped off during the years of 1974 when it comes to hip hop. Nothing too crazy, but Africa Bambaataa, Grandmaster Flash, and Grandmaster Caz are all influenced by DJ Cool here. They all began DJing at parties throughout the Bronx. Bambaataa established as a Zulu Nation, a group of graffiti artists and breakdancers. So that's really the big hip hop thing here. It's still a very young genre and culture, really.
It's more culture than more culture than genre.
Hip hop is, and that's the thing people forget. And I think this is going to be really good for us to really understand where and what really hip hop culture started off as we continue to see how it has come to,
yes,
for better or for worse. Because I do believe there are elements of hip hop that are still positive within the culture. And clearly seeing the negative effects of things that we consider or we have taken within this hip hop culture.
And more honestly, it is more negative than positive now, you know.
And I forgot to bring this up last week, but a lot of that is on the consumer.
It is. It really is.
We have come along where we have criticized the producer of what has been put out. We talked about the Sexy Reds, which is a horrible song. Pound Town, we don't care about your inner body's coloring or any of that sort. But why is it that that song is such a big thing? Is because people are consuming the song at a alarming rate.
Alarming.
You even had that other one, what's her name?
That thing with the City Girls.
No, I was thinking even worse, because like the things I'm hearing now from some of these women rappers are even worse than what the City Girls, Meg Thee Stallion, even though they had the song WAP, which I think really led into a lot of the other people that have come out and they made these very, very raunchy songs where you got one girl talking about eating a dude's butt and whatnot. And I'm like, this is what we are doing. And it's no better than constantly rapping about whose life you have taken and rapping about how it's happened. Speaking of which, YNW Melly's trial restarts up tomorrow. So I've been kind of covering it, reacting to it when I do my live streams. Shout out to Cuff Boys, who has been doing a daily wrap up of what has gone on during the cases. And he's definitely helped me to stay abreast of the situations.
Is he getting off?
Dave,
I don't care either way. I just want to know, is he going to get off?
It's hard to call because the thing is, the song that everybody felt like he was basically self-snitching on, that song was actually made well before the incident happened.
So he might go.
So that what you really can't say that is a
can't really enter it
as
really
evidence.
Right.
Now there are some pieces of evidence that look like he could be behind it, but right now it's kind of hard, and then the prosecution is not really good. Even though there is
Prosecution's never good.
the prosecution is straight garbage juice.
Okay, it's
So
never good when
I can,
the prosecution in any case, say for certain cases in the last couple of years, the prosecution has never been good when we needed them to be.
yeah. So I can see him getting off. I cannot really call it right now if he did or did not do it. But it's going to be very interesting to see how the jury looks at it.
The Thug's not getting out though.
Huh?
Thug's not getting out.
I have not really paid attention to Thug's case.
He's not getting out, bro, because mind you, he got caught. He's in that. He's technically the leader of that RICO charge.
Yeah,
So
he's
that's the whole label. So
big man on campus.
So if based on what I do know about RICO charges, and that's mostly what I've seen in movies, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, so hopefully I can find somebody.
If you get caught up in a RICO charge,
let me see if
everybody else. If you get caught up in a RICO charge, the head person is usually gonna take the brunt of it, whereas everybody else may take it unless they take a plea deal, which is what I've heard. That's why Gunna is out, right? Because Gunna took a deal. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think Gunna did take a deal.
So yeah, that's why he's
out. Let me see. I have a lawyer that I follow that has helped me get through a lot of some of the things that have go on. I want to see if he's been covering it.
But while we're doing that, when you're done with that, I want to bring up.
Young Lord.
I want to talk about that. I want to discuss that one bar because everything we just talked about can be surmised in this one quote that I gave Anthony. Do you want to wait until you look it up?
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Drop that bar real quick.
All right. So, and I really want y'all to think about this. In the Bible has a term called Selah. Anthony, do you know what Selah means?
Pause.
It does. Or as I heard one guy say, Selah, meditate on this. So I can read the quote directly, so I don't mess it up. Because I don't want to paraphrase it. I want to say it exactly how I said it. Okay, so here we go. So this is what I'm saying. And I said what I said, and I don't care who disagrees. We would rather kill ourselves over things that don't matter rather than survive to fix the things that do. Say it one more time.
Run that back one
time. I'm going to say it one more time for those that didn't hear me. We would rather kill ourselves over things that don't matter rather than survive to fix the things that do. I'm going to turn to Dr. Umar one more time and say it one more time. Shout out to Dr. Umar. One more time for the people in the back. We would rather kill ourselves over things that don't matter rather than survive to fix the things that do.
And
do you know why I posted this?
I think it was because I was it was right around the time everybody was having their discussion about the whole situation with Usher and Keke Palmer and her
you posted
alleged
that
ex-boyfriend.
You posted that. You also sent if he's musically inclined at all, red flag. You sent something else about
that was just hilarious to me because I'm like, dang.
You sent out a tweet by Ernest Owens. I don't know who that is.
What a tweet by what?
You sent something with.
Now I got to go back to the inbox because
it said Ernest Owens said Darius Dalton publicly calling out Keke Palmer like this reminds me of the women I personally know who often feel like the moment they have a child, their autonomy is stripped. Men never had their fatherhood weaponized when having fun compared to mothers. He's right, but anyway, I posted that because I'm like, my whole thing for posting that, for dropping that bar, is it was reached the peak of like, we are really, really missing the point, because my whole thing was like, why does this matter? I said this at the beginning. Why does this matter? Why do we care so much? Why do we care about about Usher singing to Keke. Was it her birthday? Was it Keke Palmer's birthday or whatever?
No.
Okay, so all right, whatever. Why do we care about Usher singing to Keke Palmer? And
Honestly, and I think I either said this to you or I said this while I was streaming. The only reason that it became a bigger story is because her boyfriend made it a bigger story.
Okay, again,
Honestly, most people would not have known about it if he would have just let it happen and whatever issue he was having. And this is the issue that this was my biggest issue with the whole thing. Not everything needs to be put on the internet.
oh my God, thank you.
Not every, and that's the part that I think a lot of people really fail to understand about social media. You don't have to put your entire life up here. There's a lot of things that I deal with that I just don't post. Most times, do you know what most times I'm talking about on social media?
I don't know.
And usually it's the stuff that you would probably fuss about because it's like irrelevant foolishness. Like, I think I made one post today. Hold on. No. Here we go. This is my post for the day on Facebook. If you see this post, I'll block your shot. Yesterday's post, I shared, somebody said the best vitamin for a Christian is B1. My response was add a little B3 behind that, E flat preferably. That was for the musicians.
That's what I figured. That's what I figured.
I made a happy birthday post to Speed. Speed Snacks, I should say, not iShow Speed. Speed Stacks. Speed Snack got what you need snacks, the original DoorDash. Yeah, and then the post about if he's musically inclined at all, red flag. I was like, that's crazy. Because I know I'm musically inclined, very musically inclined. And then the typical rotisserie chicken post. Which I might go get me a rotisserie chicken tomorrow, now that I'm thinking about it.
But my thing is like, why does that matter? Not what you said. Why do we as civilians, as regular people, why do we care?
Because celebrity life is more important, is more interesting than our own.
I don't care. Look, all right, please.
That was facetious.
I love Kota Ibushi. I do. I think he's one of the best wrestlers in the world right now. Do you know what I'm not doing? Wondering what he had for dinner today.
Well, I had Ninja.
I had Red Lobster myself. But like I said, I like Killer Mike. We both love Killer Mike. You know what I'm not doing? I am not wondering if Killer Mike smoked weed today. Which he probably did. He probably did, but like,
I mean, you wouldn't have to ask that question because you already know this. Did Killer Mike smoke weed today? Duh.
But my point is, these are things that have nothing to do with me, and I don't understand. Now, granted, I imagine it's probably a historical thing. We're at this point in history, and this has been going on for history where we are just naturally obsessed with people's lives who are doing better than us. Yes. I understand that. I get it. And I realize it's kind of way late to try and break the cycle, but I at least want to try. It's the same thing with trying to break the cycle of genocidal rap. We're going to make a hard dent in it, but we can only do so much.
That's right.
Yes. But it's like, I can't understand. Why do we care that Usher sang to Keke Palmer? Why do we care? Why do we care that I don't know why I care.
I think
I cared a little bit here. I got caught up yesterday. I even told him this. I got caught up yesterday. I had to catch myself. I was watching the UFC fights.
Oh, the Trump thing?
Yeah, I was watching the UFC fights. One of the dudes beat Bo Nickel, beat some other guy whose name I can't remember, beat him in 38 seconds, right? He gets out of the ring. He goes over to Trump. He gives him hand, and Trump sees him and all that. He acknowledges President Trump and all that. And Trump's sitting right there next to Dana White. I saw that, immediately turned it off because I'm like, you know what? No, we're not doing this. Not doing this. I was going to turn it off until the main event got there. But then I thought, well, Trump's probably going to be there until it goes off.
Well, Trump was there the whole time. Come on.
Exactly. Man. So I turned it off. Completely missed. When I realized I missed something, Israel Adesanya got in the ring. Israel Adesanya ended up getting in the octagon to face his next challenger, which that's going to be good. Huh?
Him and DDP?
Yeah, basically. Because remember, is the same dude who's from South Africa.
Yeah.
And he was trying to say he's more African. He tried to tell Izzy he's more African than he is.
Well, he couldn't say certain things that Izzy was saying to him.
I know, that's what was crazy. No, that's what.
The thing is, people were so mad at him saying it.
They were.
And they even asked Dana, but it was like, Izzy's black.
They were mad at him because they were like, he was wrong for saying that. I was like, no, he's right.
Dana was like, Izzy's black, he can say it.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, that's the one time I actually agree with Dana White. Dana was like, I mean, Izzy can say what he wants. And I guess everybody's supporting the other dude.
I do like that Dana kind of is like not really tone policing and stuff like that. Like, you never know what's going to be said when it comes to UFC.
Yeah, because
they can get away with it.
Yeah, but the thing was, it was like, it wasn't like Izzy was wrong. Dana wasn't wrong either. Like, I would have liked to see the dude say it right there.
Somebody said, and you'll know the video that I'm talking about. Somebody's compared it to that one news segment where the black guy was like, when the rappers say the N-word all the time. Like, do you want to say it? Say it.
So say it.
I'll say it with you.
He said, I will say it with you. And he's like, no, he can't say. He's like, sure, you can.
Sure you can.
It's America. Go ahead. Say it. I will say it.
Look, I said, when people ask me, can white people say it? I was like, sure. At your own risk.
I don't care if you say it.
Look, I say it all the time. Look, you can say what you want to say. The catch is,
yeah. Because
where you say it, because some people look. You say it around me. Just said it doing Fresh and Fit, and nobody decided to punch him in the face.
If you say it to me, if you say it around me, I'm not. If you say it around me, I'm not going to freak out. I'm going to look at you. I'm going to look at you. If you say it around me, I'm just going to look at you crazy. Like, okay, now I know what kind of person you are. That's how I feel.
Look, you already know how I feel about people. Look, I'd rather you show me who you are right in my face, so I ain't got to worry about it.
Exactly. That's how
you're racist. I don't want anything in your life to hold you back for showing me that you don't like me because I'm black.
Yes, I'm at a point where I don't want you to hide from me your true self. Be your true self.
Be yourself. Easy as ABC. Dang, that was from Sesame Street. That was from my childhood. Lord have mercy, I'm showing my age. We old. Yeah. Nah, you old.
But yeah, no, but seriously, I don't understand. Anyway, I said that to say we gotta stop caring about these people, man, that don't want nothing to do with us.
Hey, I just be in that joke. I'm on social media to get my jokes off.
Like, I don't understand.
95% of the time when you see me posting on social media, I'm probably on the floor laughing. Literally on the floor laughing because I'm like, I take none of this seriously.
Speaking of which, somebody asked me if I had threads today. I said, you mean Twitter? I just have Twitter. I'm not going to get threads. If I was going to get threads, I'm not getting that.
Here's the thing. Everybody has tried, and it's going to be interesting because Twitter has been the go-to place for so long. It's going to be it's going to be like one of those things to really document if Elon really just like destroys this app.
Here's how I put it. You know why Twitter is going to stay around? It's going to stay up because Black Twitter sounds better than Black Threads.
It does. It does. And I made a thread, but I have not like edited my page. Like I still have no profile picture, none of that stuff.
Black
So
Twitter is.
don't.
I'm
I
telling you,
don't. Is it basically like Twitter Junior?
it's basically Twitter. The
So
way somebody posted
basically,
it,
True Social and all these other apps that you want to be Twitter too.
basically.
But this
But
time, Mark
Threads is
Zuckerberg.
like I said, I'm telling y'all, the Black Threads community is not going to hit like the Black Twitter
Oh
community
no,
will.
no,
It's not.
absolutely not.
It's not. It just ain't. I hate to break it to you.
Black Twitter was going in during the BET Awards, man.
And it was hilarious.
Black Twitter made sure BET Awards was the #1 trending thing that entire day. Take that, wrestling community.
The black threads. Which sounds better, wrestling Twitter or wrestling threads?
Wrestling threads. No, that sounds so cringe.
Don't it?
Wrestling threads. Nice wrestling threads you got there, man.
That don't even sound right.
I think like jerseys.
Exactly. Don't even sound right.
Speaking of wrestling, let's get some wrestling.
Yeah, let's get to it.
Roman Reigns.
He needs.
First of all, I'll go ahead and give you your props. You were right.
I've been right.
Okay, don't get your head's already big enough.
I've been right.
Don't get a bigger head.
Yeah. But I was gonna say, I think Roman, the next promo Roman cuts needs to be like full on dictator promo.
No, I watched that promo Friday, and I was like, he is really manipulative. I feel like I'm being manipulated.
Like it's like he has everybody tweaking but him. Everybody's tweaking but him. Like, no, it's like we're all not crazy. All however many million of us watching that show are not crazy. We've watched you for 3 years essentially torture your own family. Like
you know the crazy part?
The fact that he creased them J's like that.
That was the worst part. That was the most villainous thing he did the entire segment. Crease his J's.
It's terrible.
And I only know this is a no because I have a pair of ones.
Just like those?
No, I have our mids.
Ah.
And this dude is literally creasing his J's. And, I don't care about shoes. I just had ones because I was like, these look cool. And so I would sit outside and just like, like doing calf raises.
Yeah.
I would do those.
Oh.
In my ones.
Oh.
So obviously I'm creasing my ones. And they're like, Mr. Pierce, what are you doing? You're creasing your Jordans. I was like, and? You're not supposed to do that. I didn't ask.
The kids.
Crazy part is I wasn't even saying didn't ask at that point, but if they were to say that to me now, I would clearly interject with didn't ask. What's good, piano player? Is that all you know he is, a piano player?
That's funny.
I'm a content creator too, okay? No, it was good. It's all love around here. But yeah, just the fact that he was on his knees creasing the mess out of his Jordans like that.
And then what killed me, he has to know he's saying meme-worthy stuff. There's no way he doesn't know. There's no way he doesn't
know what they're doing, bro. He knows what he's doing. Rhea knows what he's doing.
I saw a meme like Saturday. I saw the meme where he was like, where somebody said, you spent all night. Somebody was on Twitter. I was like, you spent all night watching wrestling, didn't you? And then it was his reaction like, no, I didn't. No, I didn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like stuff like that. Or what was the other one? Like, you think you're me? You think you're me? Yeah, like all of that.
I'll use that with a word.
Like even Chisel Adonis. Adonis uses it.
For some reason I have a influence on these young hams. And they would say things I would say, and I'm like, you think you're me? You think you're me? You think you're me?
Young hams.
Young hams. Young bucks. I don't care. I say what I want to say. Didn't ask.
Speaking of hams, Index or Mandy and Otis?
Otis and Maxine. Let it cook. Let it cook. Let it cook.
Yeah, no, yeah. Well,
Speaking of which, we got a big match with Tommaso tomorrow.
Tommaso and Miz.
Mm-hmm.
Judgment Day is going to be at NXT.
That promo he cut on Miz was amazing.
Prime
it really felt like Tommaso Ciampa, like the psycho K word. Can I say psycho K word? Oh, you know what I'm talking about. That Tommaso Ciampa, the Tommaso Ciampa that was like had people hating him.
Had Mauro and Allo.
Oh my gosh, Mauro.
The way. Here's how I knew it was bad, because it was War Games. It was Ciampa versus Dream, and they did a spot over near the announce table, and Mauro's just going and going and going, and then Ciampa stops, balls up a piece of paper, and throws it at Mauro.
Oh my gosh.
So what? All right. So better question. What was worse? Who was worse? Although I feel like the answer is kind of obvious. 2018 Ciampa or 2017-18 Ciampa or 09 Randy?
No, that's not a question. 09
It's
Randy.
not a question, but
I love Ciampa, but Randy
was. I just saw
that's like asking, and because we've known each other since then, and it was two people.
Edge.
And we used to sit in the cafeteria and talk about who we hated.
Edge 06,
and Randy Orton.
06 Edge, 06, 05. Actually, it was like 06
Edge and Randy Orton.
Actually, it wasn't even 06 Edge, because 06 Edge, I was just rocking with his theme, but it was more like
his theme was always slapping.
It was like I think it was like 07 Edge where he beat
Randy
the Undertaker when he cashed in on Taker.
Yeah,
that was around there. And
because this was when they was doing the rated RKO stuff too, right?
No, it was after that. I didn't really hate Edge until after that.
Oh, I hated Edge ever since, because I was a big Matt Hardy guy.
Oh yeah, I totally get that.
So we all know the story about that. So
yeah,
I was always behind Matt Hardy. So if I'm with Hardy,
because Hardy was in the right, but Hardy was like had every right to be.
He had the right to be mad, but at the same time, he went about it the wrong way.
No, it's fair. It's fair. By the way, if you're looking for a good trio, so one thing I like to do is I've been watching trilogy matches that have trilogies, and like I said, I told you about Dragunov and Cara Noir in progress.
Yeah,
told you how that. Well, they have 4 matches now, but their matches, those 3 matches they had, were really good. Another trilogy I found. Obviously, I watched Punk and Joe in its entirety. But one thing I discovered was I found Danielson and Roderick Strong had a series of matches in 2005. One of them is at Supercard. No, yeah, one of us at Supercard 2006, and then the other 2 were before that. But they all, I think the best one was probably the first one. My favorite one was the first one. But I know they had a good trilogy. And then you obviously have the Misawa and Misawa Kobashi, Misawa Kawada trilogies. You know, well, more, you know what I mean. 3 months. You can find any, they face each other like 80 times. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
go ahead, my fault.
And then what was the other trilogy I found? Was that somebody else? I can't think of it. But yeah. Oh, and obviously Kenny Omega and Okada. I think I even listed my favorite trilogies. I think I sent that to you because it was really good, solid one. And I posted it right after I'd watched the Okada and not the Okada. Right after I watched the Strong and Danielson matches. Yeah, here we go. So Car Noir, Ilya Dragunov. That's my number one. Kenny Omega, Kota Ibushi, number 2. Omega Okada is number 3. Danielson and Strong is 4. And then Joe and Punk. Yeah. Joe and Punk were like slow burn trilogies. They weren't bad, but they were slow burn. So
Did you watch the NXT Underground match?
No, the only thing from NXT, I don't think I watched any NXT. Now I think about it.
It looked very interesting. I'm gonna have to go back and sit down and watch it. Gable's
I saw
pretty good.
Yeah,
Gable's suplex look really good. So
yeah, that's what I saw.
That's like destroys any talk that he's not developing. I was like, I don't believe that. Once this guy gets a character, like he really develops that character, I think Gable's gonna be fine.
I think so.
And I know you're gonna have the people that bring up his whole allegations and whatnot, but
his what?
Right. Those allegations, but he's gone through college, won Olympic gold. If it was anything worth really getting upset over, he would have
been stalled.
Yeah, none of that would have happened.
I think
so.
I did see. I'm getting my wish. I hope I get my wish. Braun and Dragunov.
That's actually happened Tuesday.
I know, but I'm saying whoever wins that is probably going to face Melo at the Bash.
Well,
unless it's too early.
Give me Melo and Dragunov.
Yeah, no, but
we've seen Melo and Braun twice now.
I'm saying here's the thing about that. I think Melo, whoever wins, like I think
this on a Sunday because of that Saturday I'm supposed to be going to VCW to see Cardona.
But I would say I think Dragunov might win it there.
Oh, that'd be fun. That's gonna be fire.
What, Dragunov and Hayes?
Yes.
I just hope.
Honestly,
I was telling somebody I don't think Carmelo is ready for Dragunov.
I think he's gonna beat him.
Dragunov or Hayes?
I think there's something, and I'm not ready for this to happen. I don't want this to happen at all. But I got a feeling that they're going to go ahead and do the deal with him and Trick.
Oh, the breakup.
Yeah, because that line where he kept saying Shaq and Kobe is like stuck in my head. That Shaq and Kobe line is just like keep playing back in my head. I'm like, dang, they're really about to play off of that line. Because last time we saw 2 black men teaming up together using the Shaq and Kobe line, what happened?
They broke up.
And they got back together.
Yeah, on the Indies.
No, I was talking about for like one random match that nobody understands why it happened, but we're just gonna act like.
Are we talking about the same match?
No, I'm talking about Keith Lee and Swerve.
Oh,
what are you talking about? That match
was pretty good. It's pretty fun.
I mean, yeah, it was okay, but just
it was fun. It wasn't good. It wasn't good. It was fun. It was fun.
I just want them to actually capitalize on this doggone feud and stopping it. No, this thing has been going on since December.
They're a young company.
December. We're in July. There has been no payoff. There's been like, we're going to do it here. We're going to stop.
Well, it's not
bring it back here.
People keep getting injured.
Neither one of them really been hurt, though.
I'm talking about Keith. Keith disappeared for months. Or Swerve disappeared. Swerve disappeared to do his album or something, right? Right? Do I have that wrong?
Here's my thing.
Did I have that wrong?
If you can, and here's what I'm gonna do about that, because they could have been building to it the entire time. You know how I know?
How?
There was a woman that's in AEW that was injured and still building feuds. Britt Baker.
Statlander?
Britt Baker.
Oh. Well, I don't know, bro. No, I know what you mean.
Now that they're back together, they still have not really capitalized on doing something that could really work. Honestly, that should be something that they can use on Collision. Collision seems to be the more digestible show to me, but that's just me too.
Well, I mean, It's got the guy you hate on there. How's it digestible to you?
I don't hate CM Punk.
I thought you said you did.
I don't like
no, you said you didn't
takes
care
outside of wrestling.
Oh.
As a wrestler and as it just in ring, everything around that, his promo abilities, you can't deny that he's one of the best talkers in the business. My issue comes when, look at me, I'm a good guy, talking about a situation that's not in my company. When we had a similar situation, I'm going to be all quiet about it.
Okay, I see what you mean.
That's my issue with Punk. When it came down to the situation that you don't like talking about, a lot of the things that Punk has said, I understand. I understand him a lot more than I understand the side of the Bucks. Kenny seems to be more the guy that's like, my name's Bennett.
Oh, by the way, speaking of Kenny, he's coming.
Kenny's coming?
You know who I'm talking about.
Kenny's coming? Where's Kenny coming? Yes, I'm being facetious. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're on standby for when it happens, right? I told you what to do when it happens, right? You don't
fork on the left. It'll probably happen. Honestly, what's the card for next week?
Either way, I've told you what to do, right? I told you, don't call. Well, I told you to come over here because I'm probably to resuscitate me because I'm probably already dead.
What is the card for next week? Because it could happen. It might happen within the next few weeks. Because when is Blood? What is Blood and Guts?
The 17th
of
July.
Oh dang! So that's coming. So if he's going to be in Blood and Guts, it would happen Wednesday. And it's my issue again. Why is this happening on pre-TV? Why is this not main eventing All In?
Because they probably have something way better. And consistency.
Here's the thing. If you do this at All In, then you have Brian as well in the match. Because I think Brian missed.
I think the point is they don't. I think the point is they don't. Not that they don't want Brian. I think the point is they've gone ahead without Brian. Like they've decided like Brian's not going to be in there.
Brian's like the brain of the faction at this point. Now that Regal's
but
on.
It's not like he's not going to be there. He'll probably be on commentary, which is good. I'll take it.
I need Brian wrestling.
No, like Brian, I don't. I didn't. You know what? I didn't really like Anarchy in the Arena the first one, as great as it was. The only good thing about Anarchy in Arena the first time was
the theme song playing.
Huh?
The theme song playing like for the first.
Well, no, that Eddie Kingston walking down there like when he was about to murder set Chris Jericho.
Oh yeah, that was pretty dope. That was a pretty dope spot.
Just him like walking down to the ring covered in blood with the gas can, like that was great. But I didn't like. I didn't think Brian belonged in there in the first one. The second time it kind of made more sense, but the first one it's like he seemed out of place. You know what I mean? Not because he's a technical guy or all this, because of that. It was. I looked at it more as like why did Brian? I didn't like Brian taking the fall, taking the pin.
Yeah, honestly, I can do with Brian without a lot of these gimmick matches, unless it's like the gimmick matches I like see Brian in, clearly submission matches, or even like Iron Man.
Yeah, Iron Man.
Like a lot of these extreme stuff that Mox does.
Yo, speaking of
that's
Mox,
not what I like to see Brian in.
Speaking of Mox had
he's a
crazy Independence Day.
What the heck was that in his head?
Skewers. So Brian, this dude was in Japan 2 nights in a row. First match he had a death match with El Desperado and Jun Kasai with Homicide as his tag team partner. And then the next night he fought El Desperado in the main event in a match called Final Death, which the night before I was like, that's what the heck is Final Death? And they said basically Final Death was you win by pinfall, submission, or referee stoppage because somebody's gonna die. And God bless Despy, he put everything he had into it for real. Which is crazy because looking back at it, I never saw El Desperado as a deathmatch kind of wrestler. Like when I was first started watching New Japan, but as time has gone on, he was in Tournament of Survival this year. He had a death match with Jun Kasai last year, which was crazy. The match he had last year was absolutely crazy. Unnecessary.
Yeah, unnecessary. I'm like,
but him and Mox,
no way anybody with a normal functioning brain is going to allow somebody to put skewers in the top of your head.
Wrestling.
This is why I was like, maybe I don't want to do this.
Wrestling.
It was like, maybe I don't want to do this. It wasn't being chopped in the chest.
Wrestling.
It was the idea that one day someone is going to look at me and say,
hey, you want to do a
chair shot?
Yeah, you want to do a death match?
You want a blade?
You want to go through thumbtacks?
You want to take a choke slam with thumbtacks?
You want to take a dive you want to take a Spanish fly through a
you want to take a door wrapped in barbed wire and land on the top of your neck, even if you don't have much to begin with.
Speaking of which,
you want to put skewers on the top of your head.
Speaking of which, Osprey won his Osprey successfully defended his title at the Rev Pro event tonight, and with the Storm Driver 93.
Was he born in 93?
Yes.
Hey, he's one of us.
Yeah. But I thought it was crazy. I thought it was so. I want to put this on right quick before we get into the main event.
Well, we gotta get to episode 8 and 9 because we've been slipping.
Yeah, we have. Y'all were wilding about that spot in that match.
I don't know what I do when I see things I don't like.
Not watch.
I scroll.
Exactly.
Did you see any comments about that spot? Because clearly, I don't like that stuff. You saw my reaction watching Nick Gage wrestle in person.
Yeah.
I was like in my phone, not looking at all. I was like, I'm not watching this mess right now. I don't want to see some guy fall through glass, taking a fork put into somebody's face.
Yeah, it was a good time.
It was another take I sent you. I was listening to Jobber Tears yesterday. Was it Friday? It was one of them days I was listening to Jobber Tears and they brought up something interesting. And then after this take, we'll go ahead into Lucha Underground. Was Friday. Hold on. So I thought, nope. What episode? No, pandemic. Oh, let me bring that up too while we at it. But before I get to it, let's see about this. It may have been hold on. Let me see if this is it. Nope.
Question: what do you think what hip hop song do you think has the best horn sample? Because I'm looking at it right now.
Best what sample?
Horns, the best sound with brass sample in it.
Swag Surfing.
That's up there.
All the way turned up.
Boom.
All the way turned. That song go hard. I don't care.
I was gonna say They reminisce over you.
Oh yeah. Troy. The pandemic. Oh, we were talking about the pandemic era
Yeah, great era.
because you was like Otis and Mandy was peak during the pandemic. I was like, the pandemic was an underrated era, especially before the Thunderdome.
It was.
Because you had, I know you didn't like it, but honestly, I enjoyed it. Raw Underground. There were
Oh
elements
no, I
of
was
Underground that I
hot
really
because they were
enjoyed
trying to do Bloodsport, and no, I hated it because
because
like
it wasn't doing Bloodsport justice.
it wasn't. It was like a
I
cheap.
understand that.
It was that, and it was also because Shane McMahon wouldn't shut up while it was going on.
Hey, it introduced us to what we know now as Omos.
That's fair. And Dabakato, right?
Dabakato. Oh my gosh, Dabakato, yeah.
And
In fact,
Aleister Black
being
went in there,
Dabakato.
and it was when Aleister Black, now known as Malachi Black, went in there and had the most decent outing in there, but it was only like 2 minutes because he just black masked the guy.
When Hurt Business went in there and wreck shot, that was lit too. The women's division really carried. If you really think about it, I really want to say the women's division carried Raw. It carried the
Yeah,
pandemic era. You had
Asuka,
Asuka,
Kyrie, Sasha,
Kairi Sane,
Bailey,
Asuka, Sasha Bailey,
Becky when she was there.
right?
We had Samoa Joe on commentary.
Samoa Joe on commentary. Give us a kiss.
Big E throwing his jacket at Corey.
Oh
Graves.
yeah, big
Not even throwing it, like beaming it.
purposely
Yes.
every week.
Every week throwing it at Corey Graves.
What else is really good going on there?
The Messiah thing with
I
Murphy.
didn't necessarily care for the Messiah thing.
Now,
the eye for eye match was like one of those things that you couldn't. You was like, this is ridiculous, but I can't stop looking.
They finally got on the
greatest wrestling match on ever was really good.
They finally got on to cinematic matches, which I told them they should have been on because Impact was running away with that and making.
Do you think if they didn't tag that match the way they did, people would look at it at a higher regard?
What, Edge and Randy?
Greatest wrestling match ever.
If they didn't call it that, I wouldn't have cared either way because I obviously still haven't watched it because I'm like, why?
It was amazing.
Was it really?
It was really, really good.
How long was it? Like 40 minutes?
It wasn't as long as a WrestleMania match, but it was about. I mean, let's see. Wikipedia should have the time on it. What was it? Backlash?
Yeah.
WrestleMania Backlash. Was it WrestleMania Backlash at the point?
It probably was.
Let me see. Let's just type in Backlash 2020.
Oh, by the way, I want to shut this down now. I keep seeing, I don't know if you've seen the tweet or the tweet where somebody said if you put Taylor Swift in a cage with Michael Jackson, Taylor Swift would be better. I said, no, that's not the case because I don't think people are.
Ooga booga's sake.
I don't think people are having medical emergencies at Taylor Swift concerts. I mean, they are, but like, I don't think it's like, yes.
Not to the extent of what. 44 minutes and 46 seconds.
Because I'm watching a video right now of Michael Jackson's reaction of people, and it's like a lot of people. Security is like standing over the barrier, like pulling people out who have passed out. And he's not even doing anything. He's just standing there.
Dang, they really didn't give a lot of time to some of these matches. So pre-show we don't care about. That was Apollo defeating Andrade with Angel Garza and Zelina Vega. That was for the United States Championship. Opened up with Bailey and Sasha defeating Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross and the Iconics. That was 8 minutes and 50 seconds. Sheamus defeated Jeff Hardy in 16 minutes and 50 seconds. Asuka defeated Nia Jackson 8 minutes 25 seconds. Braun Strowman defeated The Miz and John Morrison by pinfall. That was the 2-on-1 handicap for the Universal Championship. That was 7 minutes 20 seconds. Drew McIntyre defeated Bobby Lashley for the WWE Championship. That was 13-15. And then Randy Orton beat Edge in the greatest wrestling match ever in 44
Still
minutes and
not as
46
long as the
seconds.
greatest wrestling match ever. That was Kenny and Kota. Kenny and Okada. The
I'm not
first
gonna go back
one.
and watch that. But I don't do you know my like reservation was just like ridiculously long
That
matches
first
just
one,
for
no,
the sake of ridiculously long
I
matches.
love that first one so much because it's like you find yourself slowly getting into it. You know,
I do like how like the Japanese style of wrestling does that though, because it's really like a story. It starts off slow, and it picks up towards the end.
yeah, but when it picks up, it picks up.
Oh,
Like,
it picks
it
up,
does.
and that's what Ed. I mean, that's a lot of the inspiration that Edge has had going into his to this final run into his career, which he had a really good match
I
with Grayson
saw.
Waller
I saw.
Friday as well. So shout out to Grayson Waller, everybody's favorite
The Judgment
Australian.
Day. I hope the Judgment Day doesn't break up.
Their Judgment Day breaking up. The question is, how
I
is the
hope they
breakup going to
don't.
happen?
I want them. I want them to stick around.
I don't think the Judgment Day is over per se, but yeah, it's happening.
I hope
Something's
not.
going to
I
happen.
don't like. I don't want them to break up.
As long as Rhea and Dom
that's
stay
the
together,
thing. Like,
that's like the real thing right there. Rhea and Dom together.
I at least want it to be like they split, like kind of like how Bullet Club is. Like they kind of split off and do their own thing.
Yeah.
You know.
All right, you ready for Lucha?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so we are back here with Lucha Underground, and it's been 4 or 5 months since we've actually covered Lucha Underground. So we're gonna get into episode 8 here. If you have not checked out the first 7 episodes, we do have the playlist within our channel on YouTube. Go check that out. We covered from episode 1 to 7. A lot has happened, and it's leading up to a lot of what's going to be the story leading into our final episode here that we are going to cover today. So we're going to start off with episode 8 here. They opened up with 10 men in the ring. And so everybody's favorite owner, Dario Cueto, comes out with some glasses, and it just made me want to say this.
Take those stupid sunglasses off. We're inside.
Who said that?
Von Wagner. That's my thing. Take those stupid sunglasses off. We're inside. And so back to my notes. And we will get more information about why this 10-man match happened here. 10-man match, and the winner gets something bigger than money.
Unique opportunity.
Masquerita is. Well, we didn't know. We didn't get to that point yet in the episode. He didn't start talking about unique opportunities until the end of the episode. So Masquerita, some of the notes I made here is Masquerita is over like Rover, baby. I'm a Son of Havoc fan for not diving. Not Ricochet can fly. This is a fast-paced match until Rick takes over. Did you have any takes on the match before we get to the winner?
I just love how I love how Dario was able to keep everything in. You know what I mean? I love how it's like everybody knows, like everybody's running with a clock. Everybody has a mental clock of how long everything is supposed to go because they know the show's only an hour. You know what I mean?
Right. These hour shows are perfect.
That's why I think it was perfect for here. But the fact that they were able to keep it, like I said, everybody had a mental clock on when to do, when to slow it down, and all of that. Like everybody's communication was on point. That's what I liked.
Not Ray, but Phoenix wins this match here. And we'll see some more Phoenix later on in the show. So we get to our second match here. Before we get to the second match, the video package shows that there's a machine coming. He's definitely juiced. He was definitely juiced.
I met him. He's up there. He's a lot shorter than I thought.
Yeah, I can tell he's short.
I met him because I'm
probably my height.
5'9".
It's the crazy part.
I'm 5'9".
Are you taller or shorter than him?
he's like maybe 2 inches taller.
Oh dang! So he's not even 6 feet
but
tall.
he's
Really
stocky.
makes sense.
Cage is stocky.
Oh yeah, so he's like, if I were a meathead, I would probably be just like him.
Great guy though. He's a nice guy. When I got the photo with him, nice guy.
I believe it. Conan was fussing at Ricochet, basically threatening to leave him.
He did sound like a couple.
Well, he was like, if you don't get this together, you're gonna lose me, type stuff. I was like, well, dang. Is that how we treat our people that we manage? We get to a 10-man battle royal. I didn't have too much notes on this one. Just Mil Muertes won it.
Yeah.
Then Dario introduces the big surprise that is much more important than money, which is the Lucha Underground Championship.
I had a spoiler alert for it,
Basically
but you'll find out later.
Saying that this belt makes you the greatest
Which
fighter.
is funny
in
because
the
at this
planet.
time I believed it because Lucha Underground was like hot.
Well, they're the only ones calling you
Exactly.
wrestlers fighters. So we had wrestlers, sports entertainers, and fighters. He sets up the match up for it, which is going to be the Aztec Warfare, which at this time would be the first episode of the 2015 calendar year.
And I'll always love this match concept. I think someone needs to.
Yeah, I do. I think this is probably the best.
Someone needs to bring this back. Looking at you, Tony Khan.
Hey, Tony Khan. Hi, Tony Khan. Just let you know your concept of the Royal Rumble sucks. You should try this one.
I'm telling you, it's way better.
No, I really
know everybody does.
Royal,
but I'm telling you, this would make it better.
Dog. And you could do this at All In, and this be your big match.
You can either do it this way or do it the way GCW does it.
I mean, at this point, you already sold the tickets.
GCW does it.
You're knocking on
GCW
80K.
does scramble matches where it's like 6 men. Now, granted, most of it's spots, but still.
I mean, sounds like AEW can do that well because they have a lot of guys that can throw some spots together. And so, with that being said, Dario Cueto makes the stipulation here that Phoenix and Mil Muertes are going to have a match for a unique opportunity. The winner of this match is going to enter in at number 20. However, the loser will enter in number 1. So, Mil Muertes won this match here. So, Mil Muertes will start the Aztec Warfare at number 20. Unfortunately for Rey Fenix, he's going to enter in at number 1.
Solid match, though.
Yeah, it was a solid match. This was a good matchup just to set up everything leading up into really good setup of a show leading up into episode 9.
One thing I loved about this show up until this point is that everybody's chemistry with each other was good. Looked like everybody had been in there. You would think everybody that wrestled each other had been in there been wrestling each other for years.
I mean, some of these guys had known each other for a while.
I mean, that's like
Jomo had known Rick for a while. Ricochet had probably worked with a lot of these dudes for quite a while. These aren't like new
No, I know
cats.
that's what I'm saying. But it's the fact that their chemistry is so tight.
Vanilla was like an old
What I'm saying is the fact that their chemistry is so tight in there. Like, it doesn't look awkward.
Yeah.
Like, because that's what they were saying about like Stone Cold and Jericho. Like, their chemistry was so off. That's why they didn't really have great matches.
Well, sometimes it just doesn't work out between two people, and that is okay.
Yep.
Ready for episode 9?
Aztec Warfare.
So I have all the entrances, and that's really what I focus a lot of my energy on. I did enjoy it though, especially down to the final 4.
The final 4.
There was some very good.
The final 4 was telling because it kind of told you, okay, everybody in that ring is going to be Lucha Underground champion at some point.
Dang, that's crazy. Because that's so true. That's crazy. All right, right, so we started off with obviously Ray Phoenix. I keep
No,
saying
it's cool.
Ray
I know who you
Phoenix.
mean. Phoenix and Johnny Mundo.
Phoenix starts at number 1, and then number 2 is Johnny Many Names.
Yeah.
So they start off, and then we get our third entrant is Mr. Cisco, who was in there for a cup of coffee. He got in there, got beat up, took both finishers, and was gone. Not Santos Escobar comes in at number 4. My favorite wrestler, Son of Havoc, comes in at number 5. At number 6, we have Pimpinella. Pimpinella is a very interesting character. I'll say you that much. Was he in there really trying to kiss everybody? Is that like his signature move, just kissing people? Because it looked like every single time he was getting in there, because he even tried to kiss the ref. I was like, this is something. Number 7, we have Not Ricochet. And then right before Evilise comes out at number 8, they showed that random girl that we've been looking at for a few episodes now. What? I don't know what her name is either because I haven't gotten.
No! I know what it is. I know what it is. It just it's.
Don't spoil it. I'm watching this again. If you watched episode 1, you know I'm watching this as if I don't know what the heck is going on. At number 9, we have Drago. Number 10, also part of the crew of Big Rick, we have Bale. At 11, we have Cortez Castro.
You know he had appeared in Ring of Honor.
When I was looking, it was like, is that Caval?
No, that's low key.
Well, I know that's low key. I was like, that was my first reaction when I saw him. I was like, Caval? I was like, no, that's not low key. Ricky Mandel. That name sounds so familiar, but I can't put a name on why it sounds so familiar. But he was at number 12. Right before Big Rick comes out at 13, both Cortez Castro and Bale were eliminated. Pentagon Jr. comes out at 14. Superflies at 15. Chavo is at 16. And before I tell you 17, I have to quote this very disrespectful statement from Mr. Stryker. I don't see anybody. Oh, that's why. Because it's Masquerita Sagrada. I was like, dang, that's so disrespectful. We know he's short. At 18, we have a Not So Sexy Star. 19 is Mariachi Loco. And then clearly Mil Muertes is at comes in at 20 due to his little prop he won after beating Phoenix during the main event of last week's episode. So we got to a final 4, which was, if I'm not mistaken, Sexy Star,
Mundo,
Not Ricochet,
and Puma and Muertes.
No, Mil Muertes. Some really good stuff going on here. You could really tell at this point they really thought highly of Sexy Star to have her mix it up with the dudes. She was able to get Shafa out of there, which was a good piece to the story that has been going on with her and basically defending the honor of Blue Demon Jr. after Chavo turned on him, in I believe was episode 2. So really good story being told there. Some really good stuff happening. It's going to be interesting to see what happens leading up to it now that we do have a champion and now there is something to fight for. And now you're going to start seeing, from what I'm understanding, you're going to see things really start to focus there. It's going to be interesting to see now that we know that Not Ricochet is the first ever Lucha Underground champion. So congrats to Not Ricochet. And how that continues to hang with Johnny Mundo as they both celebrated in the ring after the match. And we know how usually those things work out when you're celebrating with somebody that you beat. Jealousy comes in, and then the turn happens. So I'm going to be interested to see if that's going to be the case here with Johnny Mundo. What is Conan's thoughts on Ricochet? Not Ricochet celebrating with Mundo. There's going to be a lot of stories to really tell that to fall out from this as they continue into the second half of season 1.
Looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to all of it. You know, I've always loved Lucha Underground, and I've always anticipated.
Hey, if y'all gonna be up here sending me roses, send some real roses and not no fake roses. But that has been Lucha Underground episode 8 and 9, man. Tell me what y'all think about that in the comment section. All right, with that being said, man, it is time, in the words of Mr. Mark Henry, it is time for the main event. I want to actually play this clip to really bring in what we're about to talk about here for the next few minutes.
Do it. It's a terrible take, but do it. It's such a bad take.
Okay, hold on.
It's such a bad take. Such a garbage take. Funny, it's the same take Duke had when he was on the.
There are, like I said, there are points in here that we can take away from, but I think the issue is that is not all the way put together properly, and that's the problem with a lot of things. All right. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Facebook.
Listen, guys, I'm sorry. I just can't get behind it. You know, I watch AEW Dynamite, and I saw that Eddie Kingston became a champion in Japan. People are so excited. Congratulations, Eddie Kingston. A lot of fans are cheering. You know, I've read a lot of your comments and reviews. A lot of y'all are saying, oh, man, this is great for Eddie. Hey, congratulations to Eddie Kingston. I take nothing away from anybody who's won a belt, but I don't really believe that this title is befitting of Eddie Kingston. And why do I say that? Because...
So first of all, can we just go ahead and address the fact that he did not win some like main event title?
What do you mean?
Some world heavyweight championship that Eddie Kingston won here.
What do you mean?
He won the never openweight championship, right?
No, he won the top prize in New Japan Strong. He has the top belt in New Japan Strong right now.
That's not a world championship, right?
No, but it's still the top belt in that branch of the company. New Japan Strong is like is basically New Japan for the US. It's where most of the American wrestlers who are signed in New Japan, where they wrestle.
I thought he won like the never open weight or something like that.
No, they are. What's his name? David Finlay is the never open weight champion.
Okay, my bad. All right, let's continue.
Because in times past, okay, and in major promotions even today, I don't know what's changed, but major promotions even today, the rule has still been the same. Listen, if you're not working, okay, on your physique, on your in-ring skills, and if you're just kind of doing the same shtick every so often, and you're coming out,
you heard that, Mick Foley?
Expecting somebody to give you an opportunity, that's not how this game works, y'all.
You heard that, Kevin Owens?
Oh?
You heard that, Samoa Joe?
Why are you shouting?
You heard that, Dusty Rhodes? You heard that, Vader?
Why are you shouting? It sounds like you're shouting.
You heard that, Tyrus?
Jesus, not Tyrus.
Well, he's in the demographic. Who else is a very heavy guy that won like top gold?
Jethro Holiday.
Moving on.
A lot of guys are just crying and whining and coming out to the ring and saying, oh, I've worked so hard and busted my butt for so many years, and now it's my time. No, it's not.
I mean, that's a great art to go with, honestly. Wouldn't you say?
What? Say it one more time.
That's a great art to go with.
What
Now,
art?
I don't go out of my
art.
way to say that, oh, this person worked hard and they deserve this championship. No, that's not how it works. Clearly, that's not how it works a lot of times. They go with the hot hand. And we're going to talk about this, but Eddie Kingston has been a very
Kingston
popular
has
name
been-
in AEW, regardless of what people want to believe.
Eddie Kingston has been hot for years. Eddie Kingston was hot the moment he got to AEW.
Just don't remind him.
Anyway, carry on with this garbage take.
Oh, you don't just get awarded a title because you've done so much for the business. That's not how it works. There's guys.
How do you know how it works?
I wasn't even going to bring that fact up.
How do you know how it works? Are you a wrestler yourself? Are you a promoter?
Blood, sweat, and tears in the business, and guess what? They're jobbing out night after night. They're jerking the curtain night after night. You know.
Hey, guess what? Shout out to them too, because they're doing a great job at it. I think the issue that we have as fans, we look at jobbers as people who aren't important to the product. Every single person that walks out there through that curtain, know whether they are, I don't like the term jobber, enhancement talent, the main eventer, the curtain jerker. They just cut a promo, the ring announcer. Every single person has an important role in the product that comes out and to entertain us. And I don't think it is fair to basically look down on people within that role of enhancement talent, or even curtain jerker or mid-carder.
I certainly don't. I would like. I know it's a lot of it on AEW, but every time I see somebody get in that ring, like especially during the tag team blind tournament they're doing right now, like they had Adam Cole and MJF fight the Butcher and who was it? It was the Butcher and somebody else.
I remember. Because I remember the Bollywood boys were on Dynamite too. I was like, wait, where's Randy Orton at? Because one of them needs to get hit on the table.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, I don't think they put them out there. These guys, like, everybody knows these people aren't going to win, but you know good and well, like, these people serve a purpose.
They're making money.
Exactly. Like, for example, like Darby and Orange Cassidy versus Keith Lee and Swerve. Pretty sure we knew Keith Lee and Swerve were going to win this match.
I've got to a point, and this is another thing that I hate within our community of wrestling fans. This whole idea of the wrong person won.
Yeah. There's only one case where you can make an argument for that, and it's I know it's people are still divided on Cody and Roman, but I think the way the stories progress now, I think they make the better decision.
Huh?
Like Cody.
I've been saying it. They did the right thing. The way things are going, and then how Roman Reigns, everything makes sense. They did the right thing, and you can still you can still circle back to Cody beating Roman. But let's go and continue with this very, very horrible take here.
Yeah.
You know what? They still love the business. They're still invested in the business. They're still a part of the business. Why? Because they understand their role in the business, and they're not crying about the breaks that they didn't get. But for us to say, well, you know, finally Eddie King.
Remember that whole thing that we started off this podcast with? There are people that find truths.
Yeah.
There's his truth. And so now he's going to spin it.
Kingston made it. Eddie Kingston did his thing. You know, we're just wanting to see a Cinderella story. But the fact of the matter is that pro wrestling should be, and I stand behind this, pro wrestling should be for athletes, for guys who are taking it to the next level.
So is Vince Wilfork not an athlete?
Apparently not.
Is AJ Francis, when he was in the NFL at 360? What do you tell me? I had just it's so funny how this whole thing happened, because I was just talking to Top Dollar.
Yeah, apparently he's not an athlete either. Baron Corbin's not an athlete. Big E's not an athlete.
Well, hold on, I gotta find this because for y'all who do not know, Top Dollar was in the NFL for about 5 years. Played for the artists formerly known as the Redskins, the Dolphins, Seahawks, Giants.
I'm weak. You just said the artist formerly known as. That's
Well,
funny.
you know what I mean.
I know what you mean, but it's still funny.
The artist formerly known as the Redskins, because he didn't play for the Commanders, so we can't really say he played for the Commanders. Where was it at? I mean, matter of fact, I can just check my where are my notifications? There we go. Because it was just yesterday. Because somebody asked him what he weighed now. He's like 270 something, 290. And I think he said he weighed like 340 as he was playing in the league. So I guess he's not an athlete either.
Apparently not.
Now, I want to go ahead and let him cook and see if I can take something away from what he's saying here. But right now, I really can't. I can't do anything with this. This is along the lines of everybody's so creative.
Guys who are making a serious effort to be the best of the best, not the guy who shows up and people like him the most, and we want to see him get a belt, but he's sloppy in the ring.
All right, so I think I could do something with this. So we'll come back to him in a second. Let's pull ourselves at let's pull you out for a second, Mr. Bad Take. So when it comes to the face of your company, the guy that you basically put on TV shows, the advertising face of the company, like at the time, John Cena. Right now, who would be the advertising face of WWE? Roman Reigns. Right. Maybe Cody Rhodes too, because Cody Rhodes has that kind of face. I don't think I see myself putting Eddie Kingston in that role, because that's not his wheelhouse. You, as one of the biggest Eddie Kingston fans I know, you can probably agree with that. But at the same time, that you wouldn't put him as the guy that goes out, does all the pressers. Like if AEW wanted to have somebody go out and do a segment on one of the late night shows or something like that, I can't see Eddie Kingston putting on a suit. Eddie Kingston doesn't strike me as a person who's going to put on a suit and be the corporate guy. No. And that's okay. So he doesn't have to be that guy. He's not going to be the guy that you put in front of, like, the company. But that does not mean that you can't put your biggest title on him.
Right.
Right, Mick Foley? Right, Kevin Owens?
Why are you shouting? God.
Huh?
I was like, you're shouting.
No, I'm making my point because
I know
that you have seen put in that role, but clearly WWE is not going. And I can use Daniel Bryan. When Daniel Bryan was at his hottest in WWE, his face was not going to be on the Conan show or the late night show with whoever. That wasn't happening. But they still were able to put the title on him. That doesn't mean that you can't win world gold. We've seen it on multiple occasions. Yes, the guy that you're going to be the face of your company, one, doesn't need to hold the belt at all times.
No.
But at the same time, yes, the face of your company is usually going to be your best looking guy.
Yes.
And physically, facially, and even just like when it comes to physique, Roman Reigns is chiseled. There's a reason why WWE has had certain people be the face of their company. They look for that certain look. We saw it with Hogan.
Yeah.
I know.
Which,
I
by
know.
the way, Roman surpassed his days.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. This is an anti-Hogan podcast around here. Who else? Cena, Rock. All these guys have a certain physique. When they start using women to be in this role, they're not going to pick just anybody. They're not going to use Nikki Cross. They're going to use somebody that has a physical presence and still looks good. Hi, Bianca. Because Bianca's just straight fine. But
Rhea
has a
Ripley.
physical presence about her at the same time.
Rhea Ripley.
And Rhea Ripley, I can see her being in that same role. Absolutely gorgeous, but has a physical presence. It works. Let's continue. Because now he's talking about how sloppy Eddie wrestles. Which I must say, Eddie does wrestle like a drunk uncle. And I've been saying that.
You know what his style is based off of.
I mean, yeah, I understand that, but he still wrestles like a drunk uncle, and I love it. I don't necessarily like his backhand slap, which I think he's going to make note of here.
I know, but the other thing but his actual finisher is like, play it.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. The move that Eddie Kingston beat Kento with, the series of moves that he had put on him to win the match, I'm not buying it. Okay? Listen, I'll go on record and say I've never liked the Judas effect. I think it looks sloppy. I don't like the...
I agree.
No, yeah.
Backhand slap that Eddie Kingston does, it looks sloppy. And that halfway brainbuster suplex, whatever that thing was that he did to beat Kenta, it's sloppy.
It's called the Northern Lights, and like Japanese legends were using that as finishers, as a finisher.
I gotta look at it again to understand, but yeah.
Here, I'll send it to you.
All right.
And when does sloppy work get awarded? When does the sloppiest guy in the ring get a championship? Come on, guys. Make it make sense. And if you can't, I don't know what to tell you. But I'm going to stand behind this and say, Eddie Kingston, not the right guy. Not the right time.
So there's his take on Eddie Kingston being champion in any company.
Oh,
now,
no,
I did see this post from Cameron. Let me pull up Seahawks page real quick.
You said what?
I saw another post from Seahawk about it, and I want to see what he said because there was some.
Oh yeah, there we go. Akira Hokuto used it.
Where is Donovan when you need him? We brought up his favorite wrestler.
Here, I'll just send it to you. Or better yet, hold on. Here's what.
I'm not going to show it on the screen, but I will watch it here in a second.
Here, can I show it?
I don't want to risk any possible chance of a copyright.
Fair enough. I just sent it to you, so. It's called the Northern Lights Bomb.
Okay.
You see it?
Not yet. I'm trying to find this tweet real quick, and then I'm gonna look at it, and then I'm gonna read this tweet again. Hold on. All right. Let me go ahead and find this clip you just sent me. Let me click on this link real quick, and I'm going to give my honest reaction to it while just watching it. Nice kick. That's sloppy.
Right?
That's sloppy. That was kind of tough.
Like,
I ain't gonna hold you. That was kind of tough. All right, let me go ahead and read this tweet. We are almost out of here. So,
because essentially the one with Akira Hokuto, right?
Yeah. So somebody shared the tweet saying, just saw a horrendous take on TikTok about how Eddie Kingston isn't championship material, and one of the reasons why was his physique. Vince really brainwashed So this person here blames it on Vince. Says Vince really brainwashed you all, huh? AEW and New Japan most of the time have champions with similar physiques to WWE champions. It's not a Vince thing; it's a wrestling thing. Every company has a similar message on the appearance of the champion. And I won't even say the champion. I'm going to say like I've stuck to the one term I've been saying, the face of the company. Who is the face of New Japan?
Right now?
Who has
Like,
been
who's the champion or who's the face?
Who's the face? Who has been the face of New Japan?
Hiroshi Tanahashi.
Describe Hiroshi Tanahashi's physique to me.
He's not as chiseled as he used to be, but his knees are terrible.
Well,
but like he's in shape. He's in shape for his age. For a guy who's been wrestling.
Let me see if I can pull up a picture of Hiroshi Tanahashi real quick.
He's in great shape for his age, but then again, most Japanese wrestlers are, barring.
Now, who would you say would be the face of AEW
right now?
Who I would say who has been the face of AEW since
Jon Moxley.
I'm going to disagree.
As much as people don't like it, Jon Moxley.
I'm going to disagree with you.
What, Kenny Omega?
I want to say it's Kenny Omega.
I mean, either. You can go, either.
Again, we're just to make sure we know what metric I'm using.
But the point, either way, you go with Mox or Kenny. Both of them are still.
Who is the guy that is being featured outside on the outside of company?
Okay, yeah. Then in that case, Kenny.
So this is for people who do not know who Hiroshi Tanahashi is. This is who Hiroshi Tanahashi looks like. Chisel.
That was. Oh yeah, that's old. That's an old picture.
The physique is there. Now we just said Kenny Omega is the face of AEW, the face that people are going to see.
When they think AEW, they think Kenny Omega.
Huh?
When they think AEW, they think Kenny Omega.
The face is going to be represented on events that aren't necessarily within the ring. Yes, Jon Moxley is probably the most popular name they have. But when you see AEW being represented somewhere, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be Jim Cornette's least favorite wrestler. But when you see Kenny Omega, it kind of makes sense. Dude's a goofy, he's a dork, but physically.
So he plays video games. That doesn't make him a dork.
No, he's more of a dork for other reasons, but he talks like a dork. I must bid you adieu.
No, I see what you mean.
This man, I swear he probably studies like Shakespearean like tragedies on his free time.
Hey, that's why his wrestling is so good. It's probably why his wrestling is so good.
No, look, Shakespeare was a genius. So if you study Shakespeare, I have no problem with it, Kenneth. Again, so this is why, like, this is not a Vince-ism. This isn't something that Vince does. The face of when you are trying to market your company to people outside of the bubble that we are in, you typically go with the best looking guy or girl. Jade Cargill. I know you don't necessarily care for Jade Cargill.
Wrestling
wise, but you cannot deny that her physically, she has everything that you want to be a face of the company.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's why she's there. And that's why she has been put into a lot of positions where a lot of other people have not been able to do. Honestly, I think she has a bigger pull than Britt Baker.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you, I know some people who don't watch wrestling,
but know who Jade Cargill is.
They see Jade Cargill like, oh, she fine.
Oh no, I have people at work like that. I showed them the picture of Jade Cargill. They were like, yeah, that's the one. And
same thing with Bianca Belair. And same thing with Rhea Ripley. Hey, yo, shout out to the strong women. Y'all know y'all learn wrestling. The strong women in wrestling. It's y'all season. But that's all I got though.
Yeah. Also, shout out to Eddie Kingston for his title win.
Yeah, shout out to Eddie Kingston, man. I like Eddie. Great talker.
Great.
Very over like Rover.
He's believable.
Very.
Eddie Kingston is a believable babyface. You want him to succeed.
Absolutely.
Like for real. Every time I see Eddie Kingston in any match he's in, I want him to get over. I want him to win.
I got to be
every single one. Like I wanted him to be Punk. What was it, Full Gear?
Yeah.
I wanted him to be Punk.
And like I said, we're pushing an agenda on this page.
Eddie Kingston for world champion.
Eddie Kingston for world champion, man. I want
Eddie Kingston to dethrone MJF or Claudio.
Honestly, I said at the beginning of MJF's title reign, they need to have a face that's going to really do it. And
they got him
right now. The most
because not going to be Adam.
Face right now.
Don't you love Adam Cole?
I need Adam Cole to lose that one. I'm sorry.
No, that's what I'm saying. As much as we love Adam Cole, it's not going to be Adam Cole.
Yeah, I love Adam, but no.
That match between MJF and Cole is going to be great, but it's not going to be Adam.
So if we got to be the ones to head this Eddie Kingston agenda, we'll do it, dog. Eddie Kingston for world champion.
Us and this dude I follow on Twitter named Joseph Montesillo. He loves Eddie too.
Yo, shout out to all the Eddie Kingston fans, man. We out here pushing for our dog Eddie Kingston to win world heavyweight championship.
No, just world champion.
Well, my fault. You hate the term heavyweight.
Yeah.
Even though he's a heavyweight.
It's just.
I understand.
I know. I don't know why I don't like it. I don't know why I don't like it. It's just.
Speaking of fine women in wrestling. I'm sorry. I was scrolling down Instagram and Nikita Lyons just popped down my junk.
But yeah, I'm good if you're good.
Umar's gonna have to fight me over that one.
I'm good if you're good.
I'm good, dog.
All right then.
With that being said, we can get up out of here. Peace, love, pots. Always remember to drink our water. We out.
Peace.